The sun was barely rising when it happened. A quiet morning, a flat rooftop. And for cadets who thought cruelty was the same as strength, they surrounded the new female soldier like vultures who had caught a trembling sparrow. But she wasn't trembling. Not even when they pushed her closer to the ledge. Not even when one of them whispered, "Let's see if she can fly." And when they shoved her off the roofs, murking, confident, merciless, they had no idea who she really was. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Name was Liana Hale, 28quiet.com. Eyes that carried more storms than she ever spoke about. She had joined the cadet training program undercover, a test ordered directly by command. Her task was simple: identify toxic leadership, assess team integrity, and blend in. The last part had always been the easiest. She had spent 6 years inside Special Forces. She could disappear anywhere. Yet as she fell, time slowed. She wasn't thinking about the ground. She was thinking about their faces, those young, arrogant boys who had no idea what real danger looked like. No idea what she had survived. And strangely, she felt a flicker of sorrow for them. Violence didn't make her angry. Ignorance did. The drop was only one story, but enough to injure someone without training. Liana twisted mid-air, landing hard on her shoulder, rolling to absorb the impact. Pain shot through her, sharp but manageable. Dust rose around her. A nearby group of cadets gasped, forming a ring around her collapsed body, whispering, pointing. But she stood, slowly, calmly, as if she'd simply tripped. Up on the roof, the 4 cadets froze. Their smirks dissolved. Someone whispered, "How? How is she standing?" She dusted her uniform, chest rising with controlled breaths. Inside, a moral conflict stirred. She could break them physically or psychologically without effort. But the mission required patience, observation, restraint. Still, some lessons needed to be taught immediately. She headed toward the building, boots soft but deliberate against the concrete. Cadets parted instinctively as if a silent force pushed them aside. Even those who hadn't seen the fall could feel something different in her presence, an energy, a certainty. She found the 4 waiting at the stairwell, pale and shaken. "Are you hurt?" one asked, pretending concern. "I'm fine," she said softly. Too softly. That tone always frightened bullies more than anger. She stepped closer. "But you won't be if you try that again." Her voice wasn't loud, yet it carried the weight of absolute promise. A promise forged from battles none of them could imagine. Tension rippled through the air. Some cadets behind her leaned in, breath held, sensing an invisible boundary had been crossed. She turned to leave, but then the loudspeaker crackled through the courtyard. "All cadets report to the training yard. Evaluation begins now." The 4 troublemakers exhaled in relief. Too early, because evaluation meant combat drills, and combat drills meant skill would reveal truth. The entire battalion gathered in the open yard, dust swirling with every shifting boot. Instructors stood with clipboards, stoic and unreadable. "Hand-to-hand assessment," one announced. Pairs were chosen. Then a name echoed. "Cadet Hale, step forward." A murmur spread through the watching crowd. Liana walked to the center. Posture relaxed, not weak, just fluid. "Out." The instructor scanned the cadets. His gaze landed on the boy who had pushed her first. "You step in?" He smirked, recovering bravado. Gladly, the circle tightened. Silence spread like a tide pulling back before a wave. The boy lunged, first wild, aggressive, overconfident. Liana sidestepped, barely moving, her breath steady. He swung again. She slipped past it, like water avoiding stone. The crowd murmured louder now. Something was wrong. Or right. Then, with a calmness that chilled every spine watching, she ended it. A pivot. A precision wrist lock. A controlled sweep. He hit the ground before he understood what she'd done. Gasps. A few cheers. The instructor raised an eyebrow. Another cadet, the second boy, stepped forward without being called. Rage twisted his features. But Liana only sighed. "Don't," she warned. He didn't listen. Nose. 2 moves later, he was on his knees, arm pinned behind him. Breathing hard, defeated. Whispers spread like sparks in dry grass. "What is she?" "She's not normal. She's too fast." The instructor cleared his throat and addressed the crowd, voice echoing with restrained pride. Cadet Hale is not here for training. The yard went dead silent. She is special for his ascent to evaluate you. The world stopped. The 4 bullies felt their knees weaken. Shame crept up their spines like ice water. Meanwhile, the rest of the cadets erupted in applause, astonished and inspired. Liana stepped back, breathing steady, eyes softening. She didn't smile, but there was kindness in her expression, 'cause kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And as the morning sun warmed the training yard, the rooftop fall felt like a distant echo one she had risen from with strength, grace, and unshakable purpose. If this story moved you, don't leave without commenting and subscribing. Your support helps these powerful stories find more people who need them.